Welcome back to The Explainer. I am incredibly excited to guide you through this today. We're going to put on our military historian hats and do a really deep dive into the geographical and historical realities of the breaking news unfolding right now in Lebanon. We are going to look past the daily headlines and break down the actual anatomy of a modern ground invasion.
To really understand what's happening on the ground, just think about this wild historical overlap for a second. On one side, you have a 900-year-old medieval fortress, Beaufort Castle, built by Crusaders back in the 1100s. And on the other side, you have one of the most technologically advanced militaries on Earth executing a 2026 ground invasion. A couple of days ago, this ancient stone fortress was seized, and it has literally become the centerpiece of the deepest incursion into Lebanese territory in 26 years.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is the macro to micro journey we're taking today. 1. Capturing the high ground. 2. Cycles of regional warfare. 3. The Litani River Red Line. 4. Encirclement and civilian displacement. 5. Geopolitics, diplomacy, and Iran. And finally 6. Security zones versus ceasefires. Starting with Section 1, Capturing the High Ground.
What's truly fascinating here is the reminder that, honestly, geography is undefeated. Even with fifth-generation fighter jets and precision drones buzzing around, the medieval military tactic of seizing elevated terrain is absolutely crucial. Beaufort sits on this really steep cliff that overlooks both southern Lebanon and northern Israel. Basically, whoever holds this cliff dictates regional observation and controls the movement routes in all the surrounding valleys below. It's a timeless vantage point.
The military objective behind taking this specific high ground was actually made explicitly clear. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz stated that their soldiers have captured the Beaufort once again, and they will remain there as part of the security zone in Lebanon.
And that brings us to an important concept. What exactly is a security zone? Well, neutrally speaking, it's a designated area occupied by a military force to create a geographical buffer. It's a physical, territorial reality that an occupying force establishes to push any potential hostile actions further away from its own borders.
Now, let's shift gears to Section 2, Cycles of Regional Warfare.
If you view this from a military historian's perspective, this geography has seen this exact strategy play out before. Notice the recurring historical pattern here. Almost every generation, this exact geographic space is fiercely contested. We see an invasion in 1978, again in 1982, where Beaufort Castle was also a massive battleground, by the way, then 2006, 2024, and now this current deep incursion in 2026. This isn't just random. It's a very recognizable 50-year cycle of regional warfare, where forces push in, establish buffers, eventually leave, and inevitably return.
To understand just how deep this 2026 incursion really is, we need to zoom out a bit. Section 3, the Litani River Red Line.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer scale of the current operation. The Litani River is the primary strategic red line in southern Lebanon. Crossing it is a huge geopolitical event, and Israeli troops have now pushed past this natural boundary for the first time in nearly 2 decades.
So if we break down this modern ground invasion strategy step by step, we see a very clear operational progression. Step 1. Secure the tactical high ground. That's Beaufort. Step 2. Cross natural boundaries to expand your operational theater. That's the Litani River crossing. And Step 3. Push forward to encircle key regional economic hubs to disrupt the opposing forces' logistics.
And that third step brings us to Section 4, Encirclement and Civilian Displacement.
Moving from military strategy to the reality on the ground, the focus of this encirclement strategy has been Nabatea. Now, this isn't just some small town. It's southern Lebanon's 5th largest city. Militarily, encircling a hub like this chokes off regional logistics and supply lines. But practically, for the local civilians living there, it cuts off a critical economic and cultural center from the rest of the country.
And the ripple effect of this strategic movement, alongside the leveling of towns and villages, has resulted in a staggering objective reality. 1.2 million civilians in southern Lebanon have been displaced from their homes. That is a massive logistical and humanitarian impact. On top of that, Lebanese health authorities report that more than 3,300 people have been killed since the operations intensified. When we break down that casualty data, it further illustrates the severe toll on the ground. According to the reported figures, roughly 20% of those casualties are women, children, and first responders. It's a stark reminder of what happens when a ground invasion pushes through populated regional hubs. To neutrally understand the full scope of what's happening, we have to juxtapose the Israeli military's stated objective of a security zone with the perspective of the Lebanese leadership. Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam has stated that Israel is pursuing a scorched earth policy and collective punishment by destroying towns and villages and forcing their inhabitants into exile. The contrast between these two viewpoints perfectly captures the profound stakes of this conflict.
But what actually triggered this specific cycle in 2026? Section 5. Geopolitics, Diplomacy, and Iran.
Because wars don't just happen in a vacuum, right? Look at the direct cause and effect logic on this timeline. On March 2, 2026, Hezbollah fired projectiles at Israel. Why? Well, it was a direct response to the killing of Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. That exercise of Iranian regional influence was the spark. Months later, we see the resulting strategic movement. Israel pushes north, crosses the Litani, and seizes Beaufort Castle.
Naturally, a deep invasion like this has triggered severe international diplomatic rebukes. France, for instance, requested an emergency UN Security Council meeting. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot delivered a distinct warning, stating that nothing can justify the continuation of Israeli military operations in Lebanon and its ever-deeper occupation. This kind of external diplomatic pressure is a totally crucial factor here.
Which brings us right into Section 6, security zones versus ceasefires. When we talk about potential negotiations, we really have to look at the powerful regional political figures involved. Lebanese Parliament Speaker Nabi Berri, who is a highly influential Shia leader, has stated he can guarantee a full, comprehensive, and immediate commitment to a ceasefire from Hezbollah's side. But then he poses a massive question: who will compel Israel to stop?
So the crucial point is this ultimate dilemma that's currently unfolding on the global stage. Will the occupying military force choose Objective A, maintaining that newly captured long-term security zone, sitting on the high ground of Beaufort Castle to act as a physical buffer, or will the immense global pressure lead to Objective B, adhering to an internationally negotiated ceasefire and withdrawing?
Which leaves us with this final thought to ponder. As history has shown us, these cycles of invasion and withdrawal have repeated over and over for 50 years. So will the capture of this 900-year-old high ground secure a permanent border buffer this time? Or will external diplomatic pressures force yet another negotiated withdrawal, only to reset the cycle for the next generation? Thank you so much for exploring this with me today. Keep asking questions, keep analyzing the history, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.